Today I'm gonna be replacing belt tensioner. This is the dd15 engine. It's 2018 and have 170,000 miles, and I have already when the engine cold I have squeaking sound of a tensioner, so I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna put the replacement. First I'm gonna have to remove this pipe so it's not gonna be on the way, and I'm gonna need half-inch socket to remove this bolt, and I will remove this pipe. Now that I got access to it, there are two belts on this tensioner. One is the main fan belt, and the second is alternator and AC compressor belt. So I'm gonna have to remove those. Now, in order to remove the first belt, there is a square hole in the tensioner, and I put half-inch ratchet, and I'm gonna push it down the spring, and I can remove the belt. Now I'm gonna have to remove a second belt, but I have to use half-inch extension in order to put in the second square hole, because on this belt tensioner assembly is like two belt tensioners. There are two springs, and I have to push second spring. Now I did put big half-inch ratchet because needs a lot of force, and I'm gonna push it down now and remove this second belt. Now the belt tensioner has three bolts, 1, 2, and there is one more in the bottom. I have 5/8 socket, and I'm gonna remove those three bolts so I can. Also, I'm gonna replace idler pulleys because they're also making noise, and I think the bearing inside is not good. So I have a replacement part from Freightliner dealer, and make sure to put that washer from the inside. This is the one idler puller goes on top of the engine. I'm using 8mm Allen wrench to torque it, and it has to be torqued at 44 foot-pounds with a torque wrench. Okay, so 44 foot-pounds with a torque wrench. The second idler pulley is on the driver's side, right there, and it also have same 8mm bolt, so I'm gonna use the same Allen wrench socket to take it out. Now the difference between this idler puller on the driver's side, but it doesn't have washer on the inside side, so make sure, don't forget that. Okay, so this is old and new. I have new pulley. It's a little bit different, but it's a replacement part from Detroit. I'm trying to focus this part number. It's A4722021219. That's the part number from Detroit Diesel. And I'm using again torque wrench, 44 foot-pounds to torque it. Now let's get back to the belt tensioner. I'm still gonna have to remove those bolts. This is 5/8 half-inch socket, first, second, and there is one more in the bottom over there. Okay, so I have it out, and as you see, 1, 2, 3 holes for the bolts. So, and this is for this square hole when you need to remove the outer belt, and over there is a square hole when you need to remove the air compressor, I mean AC compressor belt. So I have a replacement part for the belt tensioner. This is the part number from Detroit, and as you see, it's same thing over there. And when I turn with the hand, those pulleys, they turn very smooth. And on the old one, this one make a little sound. And I also recommend to replace at the same time, like I do, idler pulleys, because those bearings also go bad over the time, and you're gonna have problems. I'm not gonna replace the belts because they look fine, they are not cracked, they're still good. I'm gonna leave them at the place. Now I'm gonna carefully align the tensioner to the holes and put those 3 bolts and tighten them. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna torque tensioner belts at 44 foot-pounds. Make sure don't over torque, because that bracket where the bolt goes are aluminum and you can easily over torque them. So now tensioner is torqued down, yes, and it's in his place. Now I have to install the belts, and this is diagram in case you would forget how to put the belts back. Okay, so I already put the belt, and I use this big ratchet, half-inch ratchet, to put this down, so I can put the belt on the pulleys. Now everything aligned, I'm gonna start the engine, and I'm gonna check if the belt's running good and there are no any additional noise.